After turning 60, millions of people notice that muscle begins to disappear faster than it ever did in earlier decades, and most assume it is simply age catching up with them. But according to Dr. David Sinclair and a wide range of current longevity studies, the truth is far more specific and far more fixable. Muscle loss accelerates after 60 because the body's cellular repair systems weaken, mitochondrial efficiency declines, and the signals responsible for preserving lean tissue begin to degrade. What looks like natural aging is actually a combination of reversible biological processes driven primarily by chronic inflammation, rising insulin resistance, circadian disruption, and a dramatic slowing of satellite cell activation. These satellite cells are the body's built-in muscle repair units, and when they become dormant, the ability to build or maintain muscle drops sharply, even when a person believes they are eating well. Dr. Sinclair explains that during aging, the communication between the nucleus and the mitochondria becomes fragmented, a phenomenon he often refers to as loss of information. When this communication breaks down, muscle tissue cannot efficiently use fuel, cannot repair micro tears, and cannot respond strongly to protein intake. This leads to a steady decline in strength known as sarcopenia, a condition that now affects more than half of adults over 60. Another powerful factor behind muscle decline is the yearly rise in chronic inflammation and oxidative stress. These invisible biochemical pressures slowly damage muscle fibers, making them less responsive to exercise and more prone to breakdown. When inflammation is elevated, the body shifts into a catabolic or breakdown-oriented state. Instead of directing amino acids toward muscle repair, the body begins using them as emergency fuel. If people over 60 do not intervene properly, they lose up to 1% of their total muscle mass every year, and during illnesses, periods of stress or inactivity, that decline can be even faster. But the encouraging discovery from Sinclair's research is that aging muscle still contains the same fundamental machinery it had at 20. It is simply underpowered because the switches that keep it active have been turned down. These switches include sirtuins, AMPK pathways, and the longevity-supporting genes that regulate metabolic efficiency and mitochondrial biogenesis. When these pathways are reactivated, even older adults can build muscle rapidly, increase strength, and restore metabolic flexibility. Much of the rapid weakening people notice is tied to declining protein synthesis. After 60, the body becomes far less efficient at extracting amino acids from food unless very specific conditions are met. This is known as anabolic resistance, a phenomenon that makes ordinary meals less effective in supporting muscle maintenance. Many people assume they are consuming enough protein, but their body is simply not able to convert that protein into usable muscle. This causes unintended weight gain, slower recovery, reduced balance, and lower energy, because muscle is the #1 driver of metabolic health. What makes this especially urgent is that muscle is not just for strength. According to Sinclair and leading longevity researchers, muscle itself is an endocrine organ. It sends protective signals throughout the body that stabilize blood sugar, reduce inflammation, support cardiovascular function, and even slow the pace of biological aging. When you lose muscle after 60, you are not just losing strength, you are losing one of the body's strongest anti-aging systems. The most important message from Sinclair's work is that muscle decline is not inevitable. It is a reversible process, and the speed of reversal depends on activating the right nutritional triggers first thing in the morning. This is where the powerful breakfast food discussed in the next section becomes critical because it restores mitochondrial communication, overcomes anabolic resistance, and reactivates muscle building pathways that many people over 60 haven't used effectively in years. The single breakfast food shown in multiple longevity studies to meaningfully reverse age related muscle loss after 60 is high quality Greek yogurt, specifically the unsweetened, protein dense type that delivers a concentrated dose of leucine, bioavailable amino acids, probiotics, and slow digesting casein. Dr. David Sinclair often emphasizes that muscle preservation is controlled not just by the amount of protein consumed, but by how efficiently the body can activate mTOR and stimulate protein synthesis. And Greek yogurt is uniquely powerful because it contains one of the highest natural concentrations of leucine, the amino acid that directly switches on muscle building pathways even in adults with advanced anabolic resistance. During aging, the amount of leucine required to trigger muscle repair increases dramatically, which is why many people over 60 eat protein yet continue to lose muscle. Their meals simply do not reach the activation threshold. Greek yogurt reaches that threshold faster than most foods because its amino acid profile is dense, rapidly absorbed, and backed by clinical evidence. Studies from the Journal of Nutrition, the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, and Sinclair-inspired longevity research show that older adults consuming a leucine-rich protein source at breakfast experience significantly higher muscle synthesis throughout the day compared to those who start with carbohydrates or low-protein meals. What makes Greek yogurt even more effective is its combination of whey and casein, two proteins that create a dual action effect. Whey stimulates rapid protein synthesis shortly after eating, while casein provides a slow, sustained release of amino acids that protects muscle from breakdown during the morning hours when cortisol levels are naturally higher. Cortisol rises sharply after waking, and if breakfast is low in protein, muscle tissue becomes a primary fuel source. By giving the body a high leucine, high protein breakfast, you shift the metabolism away from breakdown and toward growth. Greek yogurt also supports mitochondrial function, which Sinclair identifies as a core pillar of longevity. The probiotics found in high-quality yogurt help repair the gut microbiome, reduce inflammation, and improve nutrient absorption. This matters because inflammation is one of the main forces that block muscle growth in people over 60. When the gut microbiome is disrupted, nutrient absorption becomes inefficient, protein synthesis slows further, and oxidative stress increases. By restoring gut health first thing in the morning, Greek yogurt indirectly unlocks better muscle building throughout the day. Additionally, Greek yogurt provides essential minerals such as calcium, magnesium, and potassium, which support muscle contraction, nerve signaling, and mitochondrial ATP production. These minerals help older adults maintain better mobility, reduce cramping, and improve the quality of muscle tissue. Another overlooked advantage is that Greek yogurt helps stabilize blood sugar after breakfast. Most adults over 60 experience glucose spikes when starting the day with bread, cereal, or fruit alone, and these spikes trigger inflammation and accelerate muscle breakdown. The slow digesting protein in Greek yogurt prevents these spikes, keeps insulin stable, and improves metabolic flexibility, which is closely tied to muscle regeneration and longevity. Another compelling reason Sinclair-influenced protocols favor Greek yogurt is the research showing that muscle is most responsive to protein in the morning, not later in the day. After 60, the body experiences significantly reduced sensitivity to amino acids after noon, meaning the earlier protein arrives, the stronger the anabolic response. A breakfast built around Greek yogurt delivers the precise amino acid density required to overcome anabolic resistance at the time of day when muscle cells are still capable of a strong response. It also pairs seamlessly with other longevity-enhancing foods, such as nuts, berries, chia seeds, and low GI fruits, creating a synergistic effect that strengthens immune function, boosts energy, supports NAD+ production, and enhances the pathways Sinclair focuses on for slowing biological aging. This single breakfast change has been shown to increase muscle mass, reduce fat, and restore functional strength in adults even into their 70s and 80s. When combined with proper timing and the right pairings, which will be explained in the next section, Greek yogurt becomes one of the simplest, most reliable tools for reversing muscle loss naturally and rapidly. The key to using Greek yogurt to reverse muscle loss after 60 is not only choosing the right type, but also consuming it at the correct time, in the correct amount, and paired with very specific longevity supporting nutrients that amplify its effect on mTOR activation, mitochondrial repair, and overall muscle synthesis. Dr. David Sinclair's work repeatedly highlights that timing is one of the most critical yet overlooked variables in nutrition for aging adults. After 60, the body's muscle cells are most responsive to protein within the first 2 hours of waking. This is when cortisol is elevated, metabolism is primed, and amino acids are needed to prevent muscle catabolism. Eating Greek yogurt during this window puts the body into an anabolic muscle-building state instead of allowing the natural morning breakdown cycle to continue. The ideal amount is 1 cup of unsweetened, high-protein Greek yogurt that contains at least 18 to 20 grams of protein and a high leucine concentration. This is the threshold shown in clinical research to overcome anabolic resistance, the age-related reduction in muscle response to dietary protein. People over 60 often underconsume protein in the morning, assuming coffee, toast, fruit, or oats is sufficient. But these options fail to turn on muscle-building pathways. Greek yogurt delivers not only complete protein, but also the fast-acting amino acids needed to activate mTOR, which is the master switch for muscle growth. Pairing is equally important because several nutrients enhance the yogurt's effect on muscle synthesis and longevity. The combination of Greek yogurt with foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, polyphenols, and additional leucine sources creates a scientifically supported synergy that increases muscle protein synthesis by up to 40% in older adults. Adding a small handful of walnuts or almonds provides omega-3s and magnesium, which help regulate muscle contraction, reduce inflammation, and support mitochondrial efficiency. Including berries such as blueberries or raspberries adds polyphenols that Sinclair's research links to improved mitochondrial communication and reduced oxidative stress. These antioxidants protect muscle cells from the microscopic damage that accelerates sarcopenia. Chia seeds or ground flax seeds can be added for additional fiber and plant-based omega-3s, improving gut health and supporting better nutrient absorption. This is crucial because poor gut function is one of the main reasons people over 60 fail to build muscle even when eating the right foods. Another powerful pairing strategy is to include an additional small leucine source, such as a tablespoon of whey protein, isolate mixed directly into the yogurt. This raises the total leucine threshold to the level shown in studies to maximize muscle building in older adults. It is a simple addition, but dramatically increases the anabolic response. Timing the meal alongside hydration is also beneficial, as muscles require adequate fluid balance to function and repair properly. Drinking a glass of water before eating helps digestion and absorption. What should be avoided is combining Greek yogurt with sugary granola, honey, or high glycemic cereals, all of which create glucose spikes that weaken mTOR activation, increase inflammation, and impair longevity pathways. Older adults often sabotage their muscle-building morning meal by pairing high-quality protein with high-sugar foods that cancel out the benefits. Sinclair-inspired protocols also emphasize the importance of consistency. Eating Greek yogurt once a week will not reverse muscle loss. Eating it daily, or at least 5 times per week, creates the steady amino acid supply needed for muscle tissue recovery. This consistency allows the body's satellite cells to reactivate and maintain a more youthful pattern of muscle repair. Another timing strategy is to wait 20 to 30 minutes after waking before eating. This short delay allows cortisol to naturally peak and begin to decline, improving insulin sensitivity and enhancing protein utilization when breakfast is consumed. Combining all these strategies, correct timing, clinically supported dosage, strategic nutrient pairing, and consistency transforms Greek yogurt from a simple breakfast food into a powerful longevity tool capable of rebuilding lean muscle, improving metabolic health, and reactivating the body's natural repair pathways. One of the biggest reasons adults over 60 fail to rebuild muscle, even when they add high quality protein to their breakfast, is that they unknowingly make three critical mistakes that completely cancel out the body's ability to activate muscle repair pathways. The first mistake is relying on low intensity daily movement instead of targeted muscle stimulation. Many people believe that walking, light chores, or general activity is enough to maintain muscle, but research from leading longevity labs, including those connected to Dr. David Sinclair's work, shows that after 60, the body requires short bouts of mechanical tension to recruit and activate dormant satellite cells. Without this activation, the amino acids from meals like Greek yogurt are not directed into muscle tissue, but instead used for basic metabolism. When muscle fibers are not challenged, they do not upregulate mTOR, AMPK, or sirtuin pathways, meaning the body stays in a state of muscle preservation rather than muscle growth. Even 5 to 8 minutes of slow, controlled resistance movements such as chair squats, wall push-ups, or band pulls performed each day can dramatically improve amino acid uptake later in the morning. The second mistake older adults make is allowing chronic inflammation to remain untreated, often because they believe inflammation is simply part of aging. In reality, inflammation is one of the primary blocks that prevent the body from synthesizing new muscle. High inflammation interferes with insulin signaling, reduces mitochondrial output, and suppresses the genetic switches that regulate muscle repair. Consuming processed foods at breakfast, sleeping poorly, staying dehydrated, or living under constant stress all elevate inflammatory markers. When inflammation is high, the body prioritizes damage control, not muscle building. This is why even a perfect breakfast becomes ineffective if inflammation is left unchecked. Reducing inflammation through proper hydration, consistent sleep, polyphenol-rich foods, omega-3 intake, and morning sunlight exposure dramatically improves muscle response. The third major mistake is inconsistent protein timing throughout the day. Many people over 60 eat a strong breakfast, but skip protein at lunch or rely on carbohydrate-heavy evening meals, leading to long gaps with no amino acid availability. After 60, long fasting windows that worked earlier in life can accelerate muscle breakdown because aging muscle is far less efficient at storing and utilizing amino acids. Sinclair's research emphasizes metabolic flexibility, but older adults often misunderstand this principle and restrict food in a way that increases muscle loss. The body needs steady, well-timed protein intake to maintain anabolic signaling. When protein is spaced too far apart, muscle cells fall back into a catabolic state, causing overnight and mid-afternoon muscle degradation. Even spacing protein in 2 or 3 moderate doses throughout the day supports consistent repair, better insulin control, and stronger mitochondrial output. Another silent but common mistake is that many older adults severely underestimate their daily protein needs. While they may believe 20 to 30 grams per day is enough, longevity research consistently shows that most adults over 60 require closer to 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight to optimally maintain muscle. Under-consuming protein while expecting morning intake alone to compensate simply doesn't work biologically. In addition to these mistakes, many people unintentionally weaken muscle-building signals by consuming excessive sugar, alcohol, or refined carbs, especially in the evening. These habits raise nighttime inflammation, disrupt sleep, increase cortisol, and lower growth hormone output, all of which reduce the effectiveness of morning protein. The good news is that these mistakes are fully correctable. When older adults combine strategic resistance stimulation, inflammation control, consistent protein timing, and reduced metabolic stressors, the body dramatically increases its ability to rebuild muscle, respond to leucine, and activate the longevity pathways Sinclair's work focuses on. Correcting these errors turns each morning's Greek yogurt into a powerful, muscle restoring trigger rather than a wasted opportunity. Building a daily routine that actively rebuilds strong, youthful muscle after 60 requires combining everything Dr. David Sinclair's longevity insights have revealed about mitochondrial repair, protein timing, inflammation control, and the strategic use of nutrient triggers like Greek yogurt. The most effective routine begins the moment you wake up, because the first hour of the day determines whether your body enters a muscle building or muscle breaking state. After waking, take a few minutes to hydrate with a full glass of water, since dehydration alone reduces muscle protein synthesis and increases cortisol. Spend a short period in natural morning light if possible, as this helps regulate circadian rhythms, reduces inflammation, and supports better hormone balance throughout the day. Before eating, perform 5 to 10 minutes of slow, controlled resistance movements to activate dormant satellite cells and prime your muscles to respond to incoming nutrients. These movements do not need to be intense. Simple chair squats, slow wall push-ups, hip hinges, or resistance band pulls are enough to stimulate mechanical tension and open up the pathways that allow amino acids from breakfast to flow directly into muscle tissue. After this brief activation, consume your Greek yogurt breakfast within the first 2 hours of waking, making sure it contains at least 18 to 20 grams of protein and is paired with omega-3 rich nuts, polyphenol rich berries, and optional added leucine or whey isolate for a stronger anabolic response. This combination ensures that mTOR activation is maximized, insulin levels remain stable, inflammation stays low, and mitochondrial efficiency increases throughout the morning. After breakfast, incorporate light movement such as a short walk or gentle stretching, which helps shuttle amino acids into muscle cells and supports glucose control. Throughout the day, focus on maintaining hydration and consistency with protein intake by including another moderate protein source at lunch or mid-afternoon, such as eggs, lean fish, tofu, or legumes. This avoids the long protein gaps that cause older adults to slip back into a catabolic state. Additionally, spread your meals so that you never go longer than 4 to 5 waking hours without some protein intake, unless a doctor has given different guidance. Maintaining this rhythm prevents anabolic resistance from taking over and ensures the muscle-building benefits of your morning routine are not wasted. Because chronic stress dramatically suppresses muscle repair, incorporate short stress management breaks such as slow breathing, brief outdoor walks, or 5-minute relaxation resets to keep cortisol balanced. In the evening, prioritize anti-inflammatory foods like leafy greens, olive oil, vegetables, and omega-3 rich options while avoiding heavy sugar, alcohol, or late-night processed snacks that interfere with overnight recovery. Good sleep hygiene is essential because growth hormone secretion peaks during deep sleep, and without adequate rest, the body cannot rebuild muscle tissue efficiently. Create a stable evening routine by lowering lights, avoiding screens before bed, and keeping a consistent sleep schedule. Following this daily blueprint consistently begins to reactivate the body's natural muscle repair network. Satellite cells become more responsive, mitochondria produce more energy, inflammation decreases, and metabolism stabilizes. Many adults over 60 who adopt this structure report noticeable improvements in strength, energy, mobility, and posture within weeks, not months. What makes this routine so powerful is that it works with the body's biological timing rather than against it. It uses strategic morning protein, proper nutrient pairing, targeted activation exercises, controlled inflammation, and consistent daily patterns to restore the same muscle-building signals that were active decades earlier. When all these pieces are combined, even adults in their 70s and 80s can rebuild impressive levels of muscle, improve longevity markers, and regain the vitality they thought was gone forever. This routine is simple, sustainable, and grounded in the most current longevity science inspired by Sinclair's research, turning each day into an opportunity to slow biological aging and strengthen the body from the inside out.